Hey, Bricks at Brickley here, back with another LEGO Star Wars video. And today, we're going to be taking a look at all LEGO Star Wars Microfighters ever created. Now, LEGO actually made a total of 35 Microfighters for the LEGO Star Wars theme, which is a lot of sets, and we're going to go and cover every single one of them within today's video. I will also add this video to a LEGO Star Wars playlist, which you can save by clicking the card on the top right corner of the screen to easily watch my LEGO Star Wars videos in the right order. And of course, we're gonna go and take a look at a lot of sets in this video, so if we can hit a total amount of 100 likes, I would appreciate that so much. And of course, let me know in the comment section down below which of the following Microfighters you actually currently own within your LEGO Star Wars collection. I'm really hyped to find out which sets you specifically own, so of course let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the first wave of the LEGO Star Wars Microfighters, because LEGO actually started releasing these sets back in 2014 with a couple of sets, so we're going to go and start with that year right here. So the 2014 set wave actually jump-started with an epic LEGO Star Wars Microfighter. This is the Clone Turbo Tank Microfighter with a Phase 2 Clone Trooper. This is the realistic style Clone Trooper right here. And up to this day, this is one of my favorite Microfighters so far, because this Microfighter actually includes a Phase 2 plain Clone Trooper, just an epic set for army building, including 96 pieces. And you got one minifigure for $10 and a couple of spare parts, which you could use within your mocks. So overall, I think this set is really cool. Then next up, we got another Microfighter from 2014. This is the AAT with a pilot battle droid minifigure, also quite a nice set for army building. So I'm definitely a big fan of the build as well with that AAT build right there. Definitely a creative set for the LEGO Star Wars Microfighters. Moving on to another set from, of course, the original trilogy, we got the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo with the older hairpiece, also quite a nice build for a Microfighter. I'm definitely a fan of the Microfighter builds because they're so creative. And the next one is actually a TIE Interceptor, including a TIE Fighter pilot. Now this build really looks amazing because you can see some of those goggles used as, of course, the guns on the TIE Fighter. And this set also includes the TIE Fighter pilot with a lot of detailing, so this set can really be used to build a huge TIE Fighter pilot army. And moving on to the next set, we got an X-Wing fighter set right here with the X-Wing pilot actually, which is also quite a nice minifigure. I really like the detailing on the helmet of the minifigure as well. So this set definitely is a superb Microfighter. And that brings us to the last Microfighter of 2014, which is actually the Star Destroyer Microfighter. This set includes an Imperial crew member, which is quite a nice minifigure. I love the printing on the torso, so this is definitely an amazing addition to this set. And what's interesting about this Microfighter is that it's actually a Microfighter of a Star Destroyer. Now this looks really good in my opinion, and if you were to buy a bulk of this pack right here, you could actually use a lot of these pieces for creating mocks, which is really nice about these Microfighters. You get nice minifigures, and also on top of that, you get a nice part collection to use for some mocks. Now those were all of the sets from 2014 for the Microfighters, and right now we're actually going to go and jump into the year 2015, the second series of course, the Microfighter sets. And the first Microfighter from 2015 we're going to go and take a look at is actually the ARC 170 Starfighter with an amazing LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper pilot minifigure right there. I also love the sort of stickers or printed pieces on the engines of this microfighter, and of course we get some nice detailing. I think this build is pretty accurate to the ARC 170 Starfighter, so that's definitely an amazing build right there. Moving on to the Vulture Droid Microfighter, this actually includes 77 pieces, and I gotta say I'm quite astonished by this build right here. Definitely love the eyes of the Vulture Droid. Of course, this also includes a pilot battle droid right there. Quite nice for army building, so I'm definitely a big fan of this set. The next one is actually a Snowspeeder from, of course, the original trilogy, with a Snowspeeder pilot right there from the Rebellion, including 97 pieces. Really an epic set right here. I just love the build. I genuinely think that the build looks really accurate to the official LEGO Snowspeeder. So this is definitely also a really cool Microfighter. Of course, the enemy of the Rebellion is the Empire. So next up, we got an AT-AT Microfighter right here, of course, with an AT-AT driver over there. Really nice set for army building, and the build of the AT-AT actually looks quite funky because it has sort of shorter legs than, of course, the in-universe AT-AT, but I do think that this set is quite nice. Moving on to the next Microfighter from 2015, we got also this really cool Republic gunship Microfighter right here. And I definitely think that this set right here is also really cool because you can build a huge clone army with, of course, these pilots. And this was really just an amazing way to get the LEGO clone pilot for your Republic gunship, because actually the 2013 LEGO Republic gunship only included one pilot. So this was quite a nice way to add this minifigure to your collection and to own 2 Republic gunship clone pilots for a cheaper price right here. And then moving on to the final Microfighter from 2015, we actually got the homing spider droid right here. Definitely am a big fan of this build, really a creative build. I love the fact that the gun on the bottom of the droid also was included. The legs also look quite fun right there. And we get a battle droid with the Geonosis camouflage. That also looks really good in my opinion. So those were all of the Microfighters for 2015, and right now we're going to go and take a look at the Microfighters for 2016. Now this was the year when, of course, LEGO actually started making Microfighters for the sequel trilogy. So we're going to go and start off with this Resistance X-Wing fighter right here, including a Resistance pilot minifigure, actually the X-Wing pilot. And this is actually a named character. He is Snap. So that is also quite a nice inclusion, a cheap way to get this minifigure right here. And the overall build of the X-Wing also looks quite nice, but you'll see that LEGO is really fond of creating the X-Wing Microfighters and, of course, Millennium Falcons very soon, because they really tend to update their Microfighters instead of releasing some newer vehicles, which is quite a shame to my opinion. But nonetheless, I think Microfighters are really fun builds. And moving on to the next Microfighter from The Force Awakens, we got a First Order Snowspeeder. Now this is actually quite an interesting set, especially for myself. Actually, you can actually build a huge First Order army with this set right here quite cheaply with the snowtroopers as well, because you could see a lot of those minifigures within The Force Awakens. So that definitely is an amazing set right here to build a huge army. I myself got 300 snowtroopers because of this set, because you can actually buy these minifigures quite cheaply on Bricklink. So that is why I have so many of the First Order snowtroopers. Really a cheap way to get these minifigures. Moving along to another set. This is actually from Star Wars Rebels. We got the Ghost with another epic minifigure right here. We got Hera Syndulla right here. Really an epic pilot minifigure with a lot of detailing on her. And of course, the build for the Ghost Microfighter also looks quite amazing with a lot of detailing. I think this is very accurate to the official Ghost ship. So I'm definitely a big fan of the Ghost Microfighter right here. And moving on to another LEGO Star Wars Rebels Microfighter, we got the ATDP Microfighter with, of course, that ATDP driver. Really an epic minifigure right there. Also quite an epic set to build a huge LEGO Imperial army with these ATDP drivers. So I'm definitely a big fan of that, because you can also get these minifigures within the ATDP set, but that's quite expensive if you want a lot. So resulting in this set right here, you can actually get a lot of minifigures quite cheaply. There was also this TIE Advanced Prototype Microfighter, including a TIE Fighter pilot. So this set was actually a great way to make sure that you have a big pilot force within your Imperial army. I think that definitely is an amazing feature about this set. You get an Imperial pilot for quite a cheap price, and of course the build also looks quite funny with those wings right there, and of course some nice detailing on the window as well. Moving on to the Wookiee gunship, we got an epic build right here. I definitely love the wings of the gunship with, of course, that window and some guns on the middle. We got a nice minifigure included within this set as well, which is the Wookiee, and you don't really see a lot of regular Wookiee minifigures other than, of course, Chewbacca. So this definitely is a great set to make sure that you have a huge Wookiee army within your LEGO Kashyyyk MOC. Definitely an amazing inclusion within this Microfighter wave. So LEGO actually continued to make Microfighters back in 2017, starting off the Series 4 Microfighter wave. We're going to go and take a look at the U-Wing Microfighter, including quite an epic minifigure as well for only $10 for this set. You got the U-Wing pilot right here with a lot of detailing on the torso and the helmet, and the build itself for the U-Wing is also quite accurate to the in-universe design, so I'm definitely a big fan of this Microfighter. Next up, we got a TIE Striker Microfighter right here, including a TIE pilot. Really also a great way to expand your Imperial army, and we do see a lot of TIE vehicles, but I'm not going to complain because you can definitely build a lot of epic forces within your Imperial army because of that, and the build also looks quite unique on its own with, of course, the TIE Striker wings right here. I definitely love the vehicle in action within the Rogue One movie. Moving on to another vehicle from the Rebellion, we got the Y-Wing Microfighter, including a Y-Wing pilot as well, with a lot of epic detailing on the helmet. I'm really a big fan of this minifigure right here, and even though this set is quite small, I do think that the detailing on the Y-Wing also looks quite great with a lot of yellow detailing in the middle. And the final Series 4 Microfighter is actually Krennic's Imperial Shuttle, including 78 pieces, a shuttle pilot for the Empire. Really epic minifigure to add to your Imperial army. I definitely recommend that. Of course, we get a little red window over here in the middle as well. Really nice detailing right there. And I really like the fact that LEGO added some functional wings. Of course, we get the guns on the side of the wings as well, which is really something epic. I especially love that. Of course, LEGO also added a couple of those stud shooters. They are actually well hidden, so I won't complain about that. So overall, all of the LEGO Star Wars 2017 Microfighters are really cool, and we're going to go and move on to the 2018 Microfighters. And here's actually a remake of the Millennium Falcon Microfighter, this time including Chewbacca instead of Han Solo. Really an epic build right here. You can see they improved on the design. Of course, they added a stud shooter right there within the light bluish gray color. Actually also quite a nice addition over there as well, and I think that they did well hide it, so that's also quite nice. I really like the piece over here on the bottom, sort of simulating the cockpit with a little bit of printing on there. So this Microfighter is definitely really cool. And next up, we got the First Order TIE Fighter. Now I believe this actually should be the Special Forces First Order TIE Fighter right here. I do love the minifigure they included within this set, the First Order TIE Fighter pilot, although I would have liked to have seen a Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot, because you can see the red on the TIE Fighter, which clearly indicates that this is a Special Forces TIE Fighter. So that is a bit of a shame, although I won't complain because I got a lot of these sets to build a huge epic First Order TIE Fighter pilot army. And in 2018, LEGO actually introduced the double Microfighter packs right here. The first one being the Ski Speeder versus the First Order Walker Microfighters over here. We got a First Order Walker driver and of course a Resistance Speeder pilot. Really epic minifigures right here. And you could only get the First Order Walker driver within the ATM6 set right there. So that also is quite an expensive set as well. So I was really relieved to see this minifigure within quite a less expensive set right here. So I'm really a big fan of this set because you can build a huge First Order Walker driver army with this. I myself actually own 58 of these minifigures, so that's definitely a great way to get this minifigure cheaply. And then of course on top of that we get the builds right here. We got the Mono Ski right there, really an epic set build right there with of course a lot of detailing on the front. I definitely think it looks like the in-universe thing right there. And of course the ATM6 Walker is also quite an amazing build right there with those funky short legs as well. And I definitely love the head of this set. I actually own it right now, so it's definitely really a cool set in my opinion. And then the last Microfighter set for 2018 was actually also another double Microfighter pack. This is the A-Wing versus the TIE Silencer Microfighter set right here, including an A-Wing build along with an A-Wing pilot as well. Definitely a great helmet and of course torso printing for that minifigure. And then of course we get a cheaper way to get a Kylo Ren minifigure as well with his episode 8 torso right there. Also quite amazing printing on that minifigure, and really love the fact that they included his hairpiece within this set as well. Jumping in 2019, we also got a couple of really cool Microfighters, so keep on watching to see every single Microfighter within this video. Of course, we get the Naboo Starfighter Microfighter, including Anakin Skywalker as a child right there. And of course, behind him, you can also see the head of R2-D2, which is also quite a nice addition to this set. I really love the design of the Naboo Starfighter itself, with of course the back of the Naboo Starfighter really being that sort of small part right over there in the back, and the engines also look quite great. So all of the details are really great within this set. And moving along to the other set right here is actually the Sith Infiltrator Microfighter. So we got a little bit of an episode 1 theme going on right here with of course Darth Maul and Anakin Skywalker. You can see that this build right here is also quite amazing with a lot of detail, and we got of course the nicely detailed front of the ship right here with a couple of those smooth pieces right there. I definitely love the inclusion of the stud shooters within this Microfighter because you can definitely set up quite an epic scene with a couple of those studs firing at Anakin's Naboo Starfighter right there. And of course you get that nice sort of back part of this ship with the wings sort of being curved. That is also quite a nice addition to this set. And of course in 2019 there was also this double pack for the Microfighters, including the escape pod and of course the dewback right there. I love the build for the dewback right there with of course that blaster on the side. The head is also brick built. That is definitely something really cool in my opinion. And this was actually the first Microfighter to include a dual molded helmet for the LEGO Star Wars Stormtrooper. That is definitely an amazing minifigure right there with of course the stand on his helmet right there. That also looks quite amazing in my opinion. I love this minifigure right here, so it's definitely a great set for army building. And of course you get that awesome escape pod Microfighter build right there as well with R2-D2 and C-3PO. And I noticed that LEGO actually is a big fan of releasing escape pod sets, so I am quite a big fan of this set. Although I would have liked to have seen another build instead of course, the escape pod. But I do love the dewback Microfighter piece right there. So that definitely also looks great in my opinion. Moving along to the 2020 Microfighters, we can take a look at a couple of Microfighters from episode 9. First of all, we got the Resistance Y-Wing Microfighter, including 86 pieces. Zori Bliss as a minifigure, which is definitely an epic figure in my opinion, with of course that golden helmet right there. Really funny sort of pistol they included for that minifigure as well. Of course, along with her, we also get this really cool build for the Y-Wing, of course, with the red and white color combination and some nostalgia towards flick fire missiles right there as well. Really love that sort of technique within the Microfighters. And next up, we got the Kylo Ren's shuttle Microfighter. Really an epic build right here. I think it's really accurate to the Kylo Ren shuttle in general. I really love the wings over here, which can bend, so that also is quite a nice feature of this set right here. And I also love the cockpit on the front of the Microfighter. And in 2020, we also got another of these double packs for the Microfighters. We got the T-16 Skyhopper along with a Bantha right over here. Like a Bantha, we get, of course, that Tusken Raider minifigure riding on top of the Bantha. The Bantha itself actually looks quite detailed with those horns on the sides. I definitely love the build of the body of the Bantha as well, with that tail in the back. That definitely looks amazing. And you can see that LEGO actually attempted to create a sort of furry look for the Bantha, with, of course, the side also being detailed with those sort of slope pieces as well, the sort of wedge slopes right there. So that also looks quite great in my opinion. And then, of course, the T-16 Skyhopper is also quite an accurate build to the in-universe vehicle. We got that epic T-16 Skyhopper pilot as well. I really love that minifigure right there with the dark red torso and leg printing right there as well. Really love that. And of course, the helmet is also quite a nice addition to this set. And I especially love that sort of pink piece on the back of the Skyhopper, sort of simulating the engine, so that also looks quite great in my opinion. And then taking a look at the Microfighters from the 2021 LEGO Star Wars set wave, we got Series 8, actually including another Millennium Falcon Microfighter, which is quite a shame in my opinion, because LEGO actually could have used this spot for another vehicle from the LEGO Star Wars universe, although I do like the fact that they included the new Han Solo hairpiece within this set. So this is a cheap way to get that minifigure, but nonetheless, I do think it's quite lame of LEGO to create another Millennium Falcon. I do like the build, but I would have liked to have seen another LEGO Star Wars Microfighter from a different type of vehicle. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the intense remakes of the Millennium Falcon within the LEGO Star Wars Microfighter series. We also had this AT-AT versus Tauntaun Microfighters double pack, including a Tauntaun, which is also quite a nice brick built creature right here with those cute eyes. We get some awesomely detailed horns on the sides of the head and those funny claws over here on, of course, the front of the creature right there. I really love the build for this Tauntaun. Of course, we get Luke Skywalker on top of him. Really a cheap way to get that minifigure right here, so that's also quite nice. And of course, in addition to the Tauntaun, we get the AT-AT micro build right here, which is also quite nice over here for a Microfighter. And along with that, we also get the AT-AT driver. Really just a cheap way to get that minifigure as well. So I'm really a big fan of this set right here. And then moving on to the last year of the LEGO Star Wars Microfighters, we got the 2022 set wave, including only one Microfighter, but that's just because I decided to record this video in February 2022. So if there are any other Microfighters right now in 2022 when you're watching this video, of course, let me know in the comment section down below what that Microfighter is, and I'll include it in an updated video in the future. But yeah, first of all, we got the Razor Crest Microfighter right here. Really an epic build. I love the sort of new stud shooters on the front of the build. We got the engines on the back as well. Really nice sort of detailing over there. You can see a lot of studs within this build, which is quite a shame in my opinion, although I love the build in general. Of course, this is also quite a cheap way to get the Mandalorian minifigure right here. I believe this is his Beskar armor. That is also quite a nice inclusion for this set right here. Of course, this set includes 98 pieces, and something all of you collectors might notice immediately is that this set actually doesn't include the Series 9 logo on the bottom left corner. Now that is quite a shame, because LEGO actually did that for all of the sets Series 1 till 8, and now they decided to remove it. That is a bit of a shame, so I hope they're gonna go and return it to the future box arts of LEGO Star Wars. But yeah, those were all of of the LEGO Star Wars Microfighters so far in February 2022. And of course, let me know in the comment section down below which Microfighters you expect to see in the future of LEGO Star Wars as a theme. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these Microfighters you own and which is your all-time favorite by leaving a comment. And of course, if you did enjoy watching this video, let me know by leaving a thumbs up to support it. Go subscribe to Brickley for more content, and of course, ring that notification bell to stay updated when I post any LEGO videos. And I'll see you all in the next video.